I want to start this video off by saying this video has been constructed from the ground up to be 100% accurate to ARK's lore. This is going to explain everything from Scorched Earth to Aberration into Extinction. This is going to be as accurate as it gets. It's coming from two people that I know have been following the ARK lore since launch day and getting every piece they could get. This took hours to create, and all credit goes towards them as far as all of the information they've researched and everything they've come to terms with in ARK up to Extinction. So a huge thank you to Shad and Star for helping out with the creation of this video. It would not be possible without them. Now let's get into everything that is ARK. So, in order for us to understand Aberration and Extinction, we have to understand Scorched Earth. Now, there are major spoilers in this, so if you don't want spoilers and you want to find out yourself, leave, go away, vamoose, shoo, because big things are coming. So, the notes of Scorched Earth explain things that happen on Aberration, so we have to start by going over the Explorer notes that are on Scorched Earth before we can talk about Aberration. Here we go. Now, Rhea, I'm going to say it like that, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, had a lot to say about the obelisks, and they lit up the sky and called down a terrible doom. Doom from the sky. It killed roughly half her city's population, and the earth swallowed up all they had worked for. Her city was called Nostri, I think is how you say that. I've probably gotten that wrong. Nostri, it doesn't even matter. It's gone. It's in the past. One of the artifacts lie in the extensive cave network called the Ruins of Insert Blank here. This is Rhea's sunken city. And then number 28 talks about the Wyvern Trench, and apparently it was not there beforehand. The lit up sky might have been the ARK creating the trench for the first time. Now we kind of jumped right into that, but don't worry, you're gonna understand. I will make you learn. You're gonna learn today. Trust me, you are gonna learn. Now we move into another set of notes. A bomb was created, put into a cave where the mantis lived, and it was causing huge issues for the city, obviously. So they basically bombed all the mantis, and as a result, a cave full of sulfur turned into a furnace because of the incredible, immense heat. The mantis were obliterated, and the cave obviously gave in. On note 22, it states, hunting parties start going missing, and then insert name here, journeys out to investigate, because I suck at pronunciation. Moving into number 23, we find the very first wyvern ever seen on Scorched Earth is discovered and killed. And then on the 24th, we see wyverns are showing up more commonly. In note 24, the very first lightning and poison wyverns are observed. Wyverns are not only becoming more common, but are attacking more frequently. Obelisks are beginning to pulsate weirdly. The mantis may have returned and are beginning to plague the city as well. A remark is made that they feel like this place wants them gone. The place being Scorched Earth. Note number 26 from this person states that this city was settled in an oasis and was the largest city at the time. It was noted the obelisk, quote, flashing violently like lightning in a thunderstorm. By the time he arrived at the city, it was already being swallowed whole by the earth. He and Raya, however you say it, barely made it out alive, and they're the only ones who survived. On note 29, it was said that they were searching for shelter and they discovered the ruins of the Manticore Colosseum city. It was already crumbling and in ruins, half swallowed by the desert. The city was home to a pack of wyverns who attacked them and continued to stalk them as the survivors hid in the Colosseum for a week straight. On day 30, unfortunately, a sacrifice was made attacking the wyverns so Rhea could escape on their mount, which is still presumed, I assume, to be a Thylacoleo. I want to make a quick note for this Explorer note that Rockwell and Helena actually knew each other on the island, and they went through the portal basically around the same time. But unfortunately, delays happened with kidnapping and stuff like that, so it gets a little bit shaky for the timeline, obviously, that I don't have included in this, but this is just Scorched Earth to Aberration to Extinction, not including the island lore, which some of you probably already know that. Either way, she finally finds Rockwell for the first time on Note 26, and Rockwell believes the trans-arc teleportation travels through both space and time. Stop typing. I know you're gonna put some crazy time theory down below and time loops, and no, it hurts my head. Okay, I will smack your fingers and we'll call it a day. Okay, just stop. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm telling you, don't do it. So as he entered the tech cave from the island, as Helena did, to try and negotiate her release from Nerva. Yada yada, basically the person that kidnapped them, and then he obviously arrived on Scorched Earth before her. Now here's a big spoiler that I warned you guys about earlier. Wally, an elder, said, quotes, "This place would never allow anybody to master it." Upon hearing Helena talk about Nerva trying to conquer the island, when asked, Wally states the city in the southeast was destroyed by the obelisk itself. Helena remarks it's an interesting prospect. She suspects the curators of the arcs might be monitoring human progression and clipping its wings. Whenever survivors band together and fly too close to the sun, in other words, when survivors progress too much, something resets their progress. A remark was made that this does indeed make sense if the arcs are one giant experiment. Note number 28 from Helena. Wally confirms to have slain the manticorn and obtained its quote-unquote key needed to leave the station, but has done nothing with it. Note number 29. Apparently, according to Rhea, the tech cave of Scorched Earth, which obtains the Scorched Earth ascending terminal, is located within the Manticore ruined city. In text, she remarks it to be ruined south of the mountain. However, this cannot be Nasri, as that city was her own city. Right off the bat, we know now that, one, the Ascension stuff isn't in for Scorched Earth yet. They have to work on that, but I'm suspecting Wildcard held out on doing that because it would have had spoilers for Aberration once we ascended there. And I don't think they wanted us to know what the DLC was going to be, the next DLC. I'm 90% sure of that because they flat out told us what the next DLC was for Extinction. It's ARK Extinction. We know we go to the planet. We already have all that stuff figured out. But I think they left out the Ascension from Scorched Earth to Aberration on purpose to avoid spoilers. I think that's why they did that. And that was a very smart marketing move. Two, that was a very smart story move because they gave them extra time to create more story lore and things that make sense. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section about that one section. I want to know what you think. I want to know what you think and why you think they might not have put Ascension in. Besides them not having it done, they could have had it done by now. It's been ages since Scorched Earth released. Why have they not included the Ascension of Scorched Earth into Aberration? Now, these are the Aberration notes that are going to link everything together. This is the Diana set. So number 1, notes of a blue sky. She is on Aberration before the surface was decimated into what it is today. She also confirms she is from a more futuristic time frame and that she is a fighter pilot from the future. Note number 7 states that on a test flight, she was using a prototype tech armor suit and she was searching for help. Discovers the ARK's force field barrier by accidentally slamming into its shoulder first at full force. Note number 8 from Diana. She discovers the 3 obelisks that are attached to a teleportation matrix, which are connected to a 4th signal coming from above, the Overseer's area / Hall of History. She decides to take a diplomatic approach to their captors and build a massive tech bomb in parts. To me, just going off track for a second, to me, a tech bomb, it's either a crazy advanced bomb that's tech, or it's like a mini tactical nuke. And just for reference, that giant destroyed pillar in the sky that's like the size of 5 arcs, I have a feeling it's a miniaturized tech nuke. Now, it kind of excites me because the thought of a tech nuke and something that powerful We're moving to the last expansion, Extinction. Who's to say we won't get that as the ultimate tech weapon, a tech nuke, the pinnacle of what you can possibly achieve in ARK, the most expensive, highest level thing, a tech nuke. Think about it, something you could make that would balance you and the Alpha tribes, or even the Alpha tribes could use it against other people that are down below. But it would obviously cost them just so many resources. But if a smaller tribe got their hands on a tech nuke, just like the real world, it is a game changer, because a nuke can just set you back to the Stone Age. Makes sense, right? Yeah, think about it. Tech nuke and Extinction. I think it could be a thing. I think it's going to be the hallmark of Extinction, actually. And I mean, it fits the theme, Extinction, a planet that looks like it was nuked beyond repair. I mean, think, all the ducks are lining up. I'm kind of excited. I want a tech nuke. Wildcard, give me a tech nuke, please. I promise I won't go North Korean on your ass. Anyways, moving back in. Planning to assemble it there and detonate it immediately. Apex hacker Santiago, which we went over in the past, hacks past ARK security, allowing them to go through the signal above without having to go through the usual method of obtaining artifacts and beating the Guardians, which are the bosses. You know, the Broodmother, the Dragon, the Giant Monkey, and, well, contrary to popular belief, Rockwell is not one of the bosses, which we will get into as well. Log number 9 states, nearly as soon as they arrive on the platform, the Overseer attacks them. It is as if the Overseer was waiting for them to arrive. It was likely made aware of their presence by Santiago hacking past the ARK's requirements to be teleported up to the Overseer's chamber only after the trials were completed. The Overseer begins completely decimating Diana and her team's forces so quickly they set a shorter timer. So short, it's in seconds, and bolt back to the teleporting platform. The bomb goes off before they even reach the platform, and only half of the survivors make it back before being teleported away safely. The others are killed in the resulting explosion. On log 10, Diana realizes everything has gone totally foobar. Military for blank up beyond all recognition. Because of what she's done, Sky Atmosphere Dome is taken out in the resulting explosion, and she realizes the ARK is a floating space station orbiting high above the Earth. She notes that it feels like the entire ARK is falling apart. Log number 11, everything above ground is aflame in hellfire. The solar radiation is now bearing down on the unprotected surface. It is charring everything around it. Diana and her fellow Tech Age survivors descend into the depths of the station and discover Aberration as we already know it. Apparently already there. So 1, I was wrong in my last video. It was not a meteor. It was not like that when they arrived. They caused it, actually. I overlooked a couple notes and I went with some information that was incorrect from other people that left comments in the last video, actually. But my fault. Should have researched more. This is 100% accurate. They are the reason the Aberration surface is like this. They caused it. Now, I want to make a note right now that this must have happened way in the past. And I'm saying that because by the time we ascend, we can see the remnants of Aberration and what's happened to it over a long span of time. There's a chance that so much time has passed between Diana and her group and us getting to the ARK that they might not even be alive. We're going to get into that in just a little bit, though. Diana's 13th log states Santiago discovered a similar but different signal coming from the planet's surface. The signal is similar to the ones created by the obelisks. The plan is to hijack the obelisk's teleport power and reroute it to teleport straight to the planet's surface. She remarks it will take years of work, but the plan is adopted and codenamed the Gateway Project. This confirms that the portal is a structure that spans through the entirety of Aberration. It was just constructed by them, basically, the survivors that were there. Log number 14 confirms that they plan to use the obelisk to hijack into the power to teleport to the surface. This explains the obelisk that is connected to rusted scaffolding you can find on the surface of Aberration. The portal is now confirmed at this state to run on the obelisk's power. So now we know the obelisk that was hijacked was not repaired. They hijacked its power. They're using that as a way to power the portal they've constructed themselves, which, looking at the engineering they're doing and all this stuff, this is a crazy feat of strength. Like, these people deserve to get what they're going to get. At least I hope they got what I hope they got. Log number 15, they discover Nerva's charred remains on the surface, confirming that May has now finally arrived. Log number 16, May is encountered for the first time by Diana and her fellow soldiers. May begins to live with the tech people. Number 18, deep within the depths of Aberration, within tech-like ruins, traces of element ore are detected. Needing the element ore to power their own tech suits, as well as build components of the Gateway Project, Diana prepares with a group for a mission to retrieve it. This is the first time Reapers are observed. Diana states that they are unidentified life forms, and the higher-ups above her have given them the code name Reaper. Now we're moving into the Aberration Helena note. So number 4 states, after seeing a roll rat, she realized that each species she's encountered thus far, just for reference, she's already had a run-in with Seekers, and she calls them flying squid bat murder monsters. That's a weird name. Has some basis on either a known species or human legend. She remarks that even Seekers seem to be a mix of known living organisms. She ponders whether or not the curators of the ARKs either have an advanced understanding of human civilization and human knowledge, or they are human themselves. On note number 6, May and Futurians, whatever, save Rockwell and Helena from Seekers, and then, well, they catch up like good friends do. Start talking and chit-chatting and stuff. So it's confirmed she is from the year 2008. Helena is from the year 2008. And that while the Futurians are from a period far ahead of theirs, they still too woke up on the ARK. It makes you wonder what year it actually is on ARK, actually. I'm kind of curious because they have the tech age. God, you would be so far back in the times. Helena note number 7 states, Diana shows Rockwell and Helena around the Tech Era Tribe establishment. Helena remarks that it is extremely unusual that so many people from the same time frame are on this one ARK, and ponders what it means. Which, that's pretty suspicious if you ask me. On number 8, Helena hears of the Gateway Project. Hearing Rhea's account of what the obelisk did to punish her people, Helena panics and fears the worst. So you guys remember what we said we would clarify with the obelisk acting up on Scorched Earth because people were getting too advanced and the Overseer or whatever decided, hey, time to, bam, reset you. Well, that's what's happening on Aberration. That's what they have to deal with. On log number 14, Helena fears after seeing an obelisk in person. The day before, they venture up to the surface to allow Santiago to obtain as much data as he can within the nighttime hours. Helena remarks that the obelisk was pulsating wildly, just like back on Scorched Earth, just so you know, and that the ground underneath it received regular tremors, as if the station itself was trying to tear itself apart. She fears that if the obelisk goes off, it could mean Armageddon for all life on the station. So they want to do a reset, basically. That's what the obelisk is trying to do to them. On Helena 15, Santiago's reading confirms that the obelisks are highly unstable and days from reacting. They decide that even if the Gateway Project were stopped, that may not cause the obelisk to stabilize. They construct a plan to actually deactivate the obelisks themselves for safety by teleporting to the heart of the station and deactivating them from there. Helena and her team go to the heart of the station, discover the room where the station's creatures are created, and she describes everything from dinosaurs to huge alien-looking monsters. The latter is likely the Reapers, obviously. On log number 18, the Essential Crisis Room is discovered by the expedition party. In other words, a room where the humans seem to be designed, then recreated. Helena struggles with the thought that she is truly herself, as is everybody else. But she does question her own existence and sanity. On Helena 20, the expedition party reaches the obelisk control room. Santiago works tirelessly and curses to himself as he works, before finally exclaiming that he's inside the obelisk controls. Suddenly, there's a loud hum and multiple roars. Kind of sounds like when the Wyverns decided to wipe out the old Scorched Earth city, right? Yeah, right as Santiago finished hijacking the obelisk, The space station, brackets Aberration, releases a massive horde of dangerous creatures in self-defense to attack them. This can be considered similar to what happened to the station on Scorched Earth when it reacted to Rhea's city and swallowed it whole. Rather than finishing the job, they destroy the control panel, fight their way through the vicious horde, and escape with their lives. On note number 23, which is something we've already gone through, they got in radio contact with the other tribe and stuff like that, and they clap, "Yay, you saved us, yada yada yada," after a visit to the Essential Crisis Room. And now everything seems like they're okay. Everyone's happy with who they are. They're okay with that. Now in number 26, in the aftermath of Rockwell's attack on the tech settlement after mutating, she notes that for weeks we've been besieged by creatures Rockwell either bent to his own will or created himself. This is weeks after Rockwell's initial attack. While he may not have created the Reapers or Seekers, it appears he may have created the Nameless, and possibly other creatures we do not experience on Aberration. May finally grows tired of hiding and gathers everything she can to finally put an end to him. This confirms that the store information for Aberration says Rockwell appears to be the master of Nameless and Reapers. Helena and Mei Yin team up and send Rockwell plummeting into the depths of Aberration. Pretty straightforward. Now, on number 30, Helena tries to leave the tech tribe because she brought Rockwell upon them, but the tribe is forgiving of her and does not dissuade her from leaving. May, on the other hand, breaks down completely, crying, saying she does not want Helena to leave. Yada yada, we've already heard all of this stuff and all of that fancy stuff. Now, that was a ton of stuff to read off, but now you have a pretty good idea of what happened between Scorched Earth to Aberration, leading into Extinction. Now, here is the final idea as to what the Extinction boss is going to be. So the following data is more relevant to the player's story and not the initial survivors. The graduate students are more relevant to the player as they arrive sometime after the events of Helena. 30, sometime far after, yet far before the player. As the graduate students gather the artifacts of Aberration to try and escape, they claim to hear voices. The sole surviving member of the graduate students descends to the depths of Aberration to the terminal there. There, with his creatures, the final student, Amamu? I can't say that name. I suck at pronunciation. Decides to escape and avenge his fallen friends. He is quickly encountered by mutated Rockwell, who is revealed to have been the voices some of the students were claiming to hear. And Blank goes insane with fear before he either commits suicide or is killed by Rockwell. Sometime after falling down the pit that created his fury, Rockwell apparently landed in one of the Guardian chambers for Aberration. Since Aberration was malfunctioning since the tech bomb Diana and her friends used, it is possible that the Guardians were deactivated as well, since the Guardians are simply summoned at the program's will to test the survivors. This means they are just an autonomous part of the station. Rockwell must have seen this as a way to fuse or plug himself into the systems that run Aberration, and thus he can control the ARK at his whim. With his power, he likely never thought of defeat possible. That is until the player comes along. Whatever is above Rockwell in the boss fight has some sort of significance, and it appears that Rockwell is blocking it from functioning. There is a strange purple energy surrounding it. Upon his defeat, it seems to cause Aberration to start working properly. The station dissolves him into the code, becoming yet another autonomous part. He will be summoned by the station and forced to do battle with survivors and killed over and over again for the rest of his existence from this point on. As Rockwell is defeated, this signifies to the ARK program that the Overseer, who was Rockwell at this time, was defeated. As with any Overseer defeat, the victor is to be progressed to the next stage of the journey. However, thanks to Diana, Helena, and May, the player's destination is changed. Rather than likely go visit yet another ARK, we follow the reprogram path made by the former survivors. And the ARK network itself sends us to the former survivors. We don't know how long it's been since both Helena and company's descent to Earth and the graduate students. From how nature has taken over the areas around the portal, it can be assumed it has been many, many years. There's a chance they've already outlived their time on the planet even. From arriving, we don't even know if they died of old age or if something might have gotten them. Rockwell may have been trying to damage the portal slowly over time, in the form of natural erosion and earthquakes. He's definitely blocking that which would trigger the portal to activate it in the boss fight. So it seems only natural that he'd also want to try and destroy the device that allows people to escape from his rule. He also remarks in one of his tech holograms that, quotes, "Though those who have put me here have long since passed, this may truly mean that the events of that fateful day are many, many, many years ago." Reapers were likely created by the Ark in the same manner the Mantis and Wyverns were of scorched earth. Diana and her company noted that after the Overseer was destroyed, their tech equipment stopped running properly. They noted that they needed crystallized element for both the Gateway Project and their tech armor. Do note that this crystallized element was only found in a habitat which was crawling with Reapers. Strange mysterious monstrosities that were highly adept at killing humans. Think of it. Acid blood, high health regeneration, high armor, immense power, high intelligence, high athleticism, resistance to element, which is what they would use as weapons, and reproductive cycles that rely on humans to continue. It's as if the Reapers were created to be that which ended, or stalled the Tech Age survivors from progressing, just like the Mantis before the attack continued. And finally, theories and the evidence of them. Mei Yin being the final boss of Extinction is extremely unlikely. The only real chance we have is if Mei goes crazy. Mei will go crazy if Helena is killed by something that is created by the Curators, or the Homo Deus, which we believe are creating this. Now, it's also extremely unlikely that Helena will be the final boss of Extinction. Going over her notes, she has no true motive in which to be Extinction's final boss. She has no real personality traits, no real insanity issues, nothing like that. Some mental breaks every now and then, but she seems to recuperate really well. I think she wants to understand it more than anything, and she wants to know why this is happening in the end. I feel like telling them why would be much better than keeping it all a secret. Fortunately, it doesn't happen like that. Now, there's a theory that it's plausible that Mei and Helena may have either failed or succeeded. Time is one of the main elements of this story. All we know is that since Rockwell was banished to Aberration's depths and Helena and company left, there has been a massive span of time. How much is unknown? If Helena and company survived and succeeded, what did they succeed in doing? Did they too become Homo Deus, and are they now watching our progress, or did they fail to whatever was on Earth and got killed? Now, the final extremely plausible boss for the extinction of Earth and what people think may happen is the Homo Deus. Now, we have seen and heard next to nothing of these creatures since the Hall of History on the island before the Overseer battle. All we know is that this is the future evolution of the human race. It is highly intelligent and godlike race, and that the species is endangered. This means Homo Deus is still around through the year of the player's time. From what we can see on Earth, it is in an apocalyptic state. It is safe to assume whatever caused Earth to be as it is what also caused Homo Deus to become endangered. To this day, the reigning theory is that the ARK network was made by Homo Deus to test survivors from across time to see if they too have the potential to evolve and ascend as a being and become Homo Deus, further saving mankind from extinction. The ARKs are likely a training and proving grounds, with Earth being the final stop. The likeliest candidates for endgame bosses here is either a trial provided by a Homo Deus or whatever is making the Homo Deus endangered. And then that's it for all of that. So if you made it through all of that, if you sat through all of that and you learned something, I feel like a high school teacher. I am never being a teacher. I can't imagine having to do that every single day, day in and day out. Nope, no thanks. Anyways, guys, that is it for the video. Let me know your thoughts down below. This is as accurate as I can possibly get it. I had to have something completely accurate after my mess up in my last video and some of the assumptions that were made and some of the misinformation. So this is as good as it gets for now until someone decides to outdo me and I'm gonna make better video and stuff. Anyways, leave a like, let me know your thoughts, and I will see you in the next video. Hi, video's over. Some food for thought. Since ARK is a game that's turned into creating mutated creatures and prehistoric creatures and combining DNA of creatures, how much of a shot would it be in the dark to say, maybe on Extinction we can create our own creatures after we ascend to the final phase of Homo Deus? If that's what happens to us. I mean, that's not out of the realm of possibility. Maybe we can mutate our own creatures. It's not impossible either, because it's possible that the ARK devs could have been working on this the entire time through all of ARK to make a system like that work, if it's that complicated. I don't know. I wanted to throw that out there for you guys. Makes sense in my mind, along with the tech nuke. Yeah. All right. See you later.